Hey everyone, Paul here from Dusty Workbench. Welcome to another video of a project that we completed a little while back for another customer. In this case, it's a custom-made shelving unit for vinyl records and CDs, a collection that he had and he wanted to be able to display it. So he asked that we went through a number of different designs and how many shelves and how to set out the shelves, and basically this was the final design. So there's not too much technique or things to talk about in this video, but I thought I'd share it anyways for those who've never made a shelving unit, might get some ideas or learn something from this video. This unit was made with 3/4 inch plywood with a maple veneer on it, and for the front of the plywood for the finish, I used actual hardwood maple boards and cut down to 3/4 inch. With a tongue and groove to hold it in place. So it's not just a glue-on or edge banding, it's an actual hardwood maple finish front. Again, about 3/4 inch wood board that we used and attached with tongue and groove and glued on kind of thing. So you'll see that in this video. And again, it's not too complicated. Here I just made the dado grooves with the router, did both sides at the same time so that they align perfectly when you put them together. Here I'm just cutting it down the end to its final height, cutting the bottoms off because we had a specific height in mind as well, so I just waited till the end to make sure that we get the exact height when we're done. And here I was just showing aligning the router so that you can make the tongue and groove for the front edging of the unit. You can see here just making the groove, just trying to align it and get the right depth. Like so. 1/4 inch in. And once I had all the grooves figured out, I started doing the grooves on all the shelves and on the sides as well, because I had to put a front edge on the side panels, and also I had to make a groove on the back of the side panels for the backing, 1/4 inch backing board that I was going to put on as well. So 2 different type of grooves on the side panels, but just 1 type of groove for the shelving itself. And here's the 3/4 inch maple board wood that's going to be used for the front for all the edging. It's just a 1x6, and I'm just cutting it down to length, same length as the actual shelving. And of course now I'm going to cut it down to I think it was 1 inch strips. And I did that because I have to make the tongue as well, so which was a 1/4 inch. And this is our, if you haven't seen our other videos, we had bought a new table saw. This is a hybrid rigid 4520, R4520. We did videos on that. You can click on the link above if you want to see those and talk about that saw. And here, of course, I am making the tongue for the front edges, using feather boards to make sure that it stays nice and tight against the router. And I only had 1 bit that could do the 1/4 inch grooves, and I used the same bit to make the tongue as well, just by flipping the piece of wood around, making sure that everything is aligned first. It's an old bit that I had, and that's why I had to use some spacers to get it to work properly. It all worked out well in the end. And here we are doing some of the glue up. It's always the interesting part. To try and speed things up, I was able to do 6 shelves at once by laying down 3, putting the front edges on all 3 of them, and then doing another 3 and laying them on top, of course, putting paper in between so that it doesn't become one big block of wood if you don't have that paper in between there. So that would not be fun after doing all that work and it all glued together, and it would definitely, with the veneer, would tear the veneer right off trying to get them apart, I'm sure. And it's not something I wanted to find out. So clamping it down, making sure that it's all good and flat and strong, making sure that all the joints are pushing equally as possible. A few more clamps. You can never have enough clamps, right? And of course, after sitting overnight or the next day, taking them all apart. And then next, I was going to glue up the edges of the sides as well. So same kind of technique, doing both sides at the same time to save time, of course, instead of doing one at a time. Put one on top of the other and glue them together. Same technique, making sure there's paper right across. Again, don't want them to glue together, so very important step when doing glue ups, multiple pieces at once. And soon you'll see the end result. Here's what it looks like. Of course, 3/4 inch plywood is not real 3/4 inch, so the actual hardwood fronts are a bit thicker. I sanded it down first with the belt sander to get the good portion off, because I couldn't put it through the. I would have liked to have been able to put it through the planer, but of course the shelves were wider than my planer can handle, so I had to do it by sander. But it didn't take that long and made a nice clean finish. There we go. That's the kind of the end result once I had it fully sanded down to 120 at that point. The grooves, so you can see that once you put the shells in, you won't see the edge of the front of the shells, because the front piece of the side panels will cover the joint of the shelf within the side panels there. So made a nice clean look. And of course I had a groove on the back of the sides as well to take the back panel, which you'll see at the end, which was again 1/4 inch back panel with maple veneer. First piece is always a bit fun to try and align everything up and making sure it doesn't fall down, but it worked well just by placing them on top of the clamps like this. And once you got your first one in, get it all lined up and squared and wipe off the excess glue. I was able to actually nail it in with the brad nailer from the top, so you wouldn't see the nails for the first shelf, so that helped keep everything together for the following shelves. And I did add some brad nails to the other shelves as well, just to anchor them in, to hold them in place until the glue can dry and until I can get the backing on as well. So this goes on for a little bit, but just to show you the process for each shelf. The top ones were the hardest because they were only about 6 and a quarter inch, I think, apart for the CD shelves, so it was a little bit tight trying to fit those in. But of course, just doing one, working from the top and working our way down, it all came out perfectly. And just slide them in. Of course, in the video here, it looks like they were pretty tight to slide in, but there was actually a lot of space, so there was still a lot of glue in between, within the joint itself. It wasn't like I was pushing it all out when I slid it in there. Sometimes the angles on the camera makes it look like it's super tight, but clamping in some squares just to hold it all in place again. Pretty much because I did the grooves side by side, they're nicely aligned, so as long as you have your first one in properly and squared, the rest will just follow perfectly as well. So once you get them all in, tighten them all up, put the back, flip it around. Once it's dry, flipped it around and started putting in the backing. The backing I used countersinked the holes and then put it all screws in to give it a nice strong bonding, strong unit. All one piece comes out to be like a strong one-piece unit. Here I was just doing the ones on the shelves, but I also put some on the all the way along the sides as well. And the final piece of this project was just the toe kick. So I'm just using the pocket hole here to get it ready to be put in place. I think I skipped the part of actually putting it in, but not much to that, just adding the pocket holes. And this is the end result before it's after it's been sanded and ready for stain. And the customer wanted a dark stain to match his other furniture. So in this one I think it's a dark walnut. Of course I started from the back just to make sure that it's all going to work out. I did use it on some scrap wood, but just to be sure, still just started on the back sheet to make sure that it's going to come out the same that we did on our test boards. So that's our latest project. Well, that we sold. We've been doing a lot of other projects, and you'll see more videos on that soon. The customer is really pleased with the end result. He was kind enough to take a picture and send us I guess partially failed of his collection. He's about halfway, he said. So it'll be full of records and CDs once he's done with it. So yeah, he's really pleased. It's really holding up well, all that weight. And so we hope to see him as a repeat customer, maybe down the line for other furniture. So this was the last project we did. We managed to finish and sell. We've been busy with some other things, and we're going to be really excited to show you what they are in coming videos. So please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. And we'll see you here again at the Dusty Workbench.